Not me. I don't smoke. It's that Jew bastard over there. I'm gonna kick his butt for smoking.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, I know. What other Jew bastard do I know?
This guy. You can smoke in here if you want.
No, you really can't unless you want to get kicked out.
What's that?
Welch de Gelt.
Yeah.
Welch de Gelt. Don't ever forget that saying.
I'll stick up. What the hell
That's
does it mean?
Jewish.
That's Jewish?
Oh.
Yeah.
But he ain't really a Jew. I just call
I'm
him
not a Jew.
that. I just call him that.
Well, remember that anyhow. You know what that means, don't you?
I don't know what that means.
Money is the world.
Money is the world. That's Greek.
Remember that.
To Gelt.
He's Greek.
We gotta turn your mic on.
He's a Euro.
Oh, have you ever been over there to Greece?
I have been to Greece.
I love
It is on
It's a
you.
wonderful place to
Come
go.
on.
I've been over there many times. Twice, 3 times.
When's the last time you went?
Short enough to go to know that our dollar has turned to shit on the world market.
That's
I
true.
mean, there it's not worth a thing. You know, as I stayed in what was it? It's outside of London, Manchester.
Manchester.
Because I flew into Manchester, my wife and I did, and we went ahead and got in there late, you know, and so we didn't have anything to eat, so we went up to and what made me knew what the world is like around us in this day and age and how bad the dollar is, is I went up there and went to the room and we ordered 2 cheeseburgers and 2 Diet Cokes and a order of fries a piece, you know, and we had a little smidgen of fries. And what it was, how much do you think it cost for 2 cheeseburgers, 2 Diet Cokes, and 2 little smidgens of fries on a plate?
$30.
U.S. currency,
Yeah.
I want to say equivalent's probably like 85 cents.
In U.S. currency, guess again.
$30.
Guess again.
50.
Guess again.
$100?
Guess again.
Oh, no way.
$180.
$180?
Yeah. See, we're sitting here and we don't know it.
Yeah.
You can't buy crap with the American dollar anymore.
No, 'cause
Where are you from?
I'm from Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah.
How's the American dollar over there?
It went down, didn't it?
A little bit. It used to be 40. $1 per 40 baht. Now it's 29. Still
That's
pretty good.
that's
It's
pretty
29?
close, pretty close to half
Yeah.
of what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible. It's
Yeah.
because of our wonderful government.
Yeah. Something that I fought for and protected. And look
So
what they've done to that.
I'm all in favor of a revolution,
Me and you both.
and I want Manny to run the thing.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna run that thing.
And
Those
it's just like I tell my wife, you know, I want to have a restaurant. You know, I want to open up a restaurant, honey. You do all of the cooking, and you go ahead and do all of the work, and I'll bring in the money. I'll take the money, run the cash register.
That's good.
I like
That's
that.
pretty good. I would tell my girl that.
That's right.
Open up a damn restaurant. There, do all that.
My wife looks at me and shakes her head.
Yeah.
So she does.
You know, I've always, for many, many years, you know, we've been together for a long time. I mean, 30-some years of our life. But you know, as I know, is when I came to West Texas State, you know, before I met you, was one of the greatest guys. And I know, like you told a story about Dickie when he was a referee. Dickie Murdoch has meant something, and till this day, I always think about Dickie. You know, Dickie Murdoch is probably the reason, besides you guys, that I got into business when I met him at West Texas State. Because West Texas State was one of the greatest. If people understood that university, they'd know that it was one of the greatest universities at the time.
Oh, played great football. Then.
Played football.
Played great. You know, we weren't Division II then. We were Division I.
One, yes, sir. We're Division I there, and a lot of people that I sit there. I had a what's his name, Honky Tonk Man, Wayne Ferris or whatever. One time we were at a convention. And he said,
Didn't he have a guitar?
"Yeah, he had a guitar."
And
And he
hit
also
him in the
had,
head with it?
I almost hit him in the head with it, because he told
No,
somebody.
go ahead with your story though. I'm jumping stories.
No, that's fine. But he had the gall to one time tell one of my friends that there was no such thing as a double cross ranch, and I started laughing. I said, "What did he say to you?" I said, "Let me tell you something about double cross ranch." I said, "I never knew it existed till I went to West Texas State." And we used to run from Buffalo. We practice in a practice field at West Texas to Buffalo Bowl. I said, they existed. Because there's a guy on a horse. He used to laugh his butt off right along the fence when we were running up to Buffalo Bowl, laughing his butt off. Him riding a horse, telling us, come on, boys, pick it up. Pick it up.
That's right.
We had to run alongside that double cross ranch going to Buffalo Bowl.
Yeah, it was quite a little run out there to Buffalo.
Oh my God, it was. And
a lot of goofy guys went there. A lot of crazy guys did. The craziest one of all was Manny.
No.
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody. And
Bobby Duncan.
No. Stan Hansen.
Stan the Man Hansen.
Torrey.
Tully Blanchard.
Well, Tito Santana. Kelly Kaninsky. Dory Funk. Barry Windham.
Then that guy that was so good. What was that guy?
Don't even go with Dusty Rhodes. He never made the football team.
Dusty Rhodes was there.
Yeah, but he never made the fat ass didn't make the football team.
No, yeah, that fat ass wasn't playing on the football team. But there was that one great guy. What was his name? The one that was really the superstar from there.
From West Texas?
Yeah. It was
Hell, we up.
Taree, I think it was. Taree something. No, it was Terry.
Terry Funk.
No, that's who it was.
That's who it was. That guy. Yeah, he married the cheerleader. I remember him. He married the cheerleader from West Texas State. That beautiful lady. Yeah, I remember that.
That was a wonderful thing.
Yeah, West Texas State. It's like, it's, a lot of people that when I sit down and talk to certain people, like especially guys like Homicide, Low Key, the kids that you work with at DCW, Tommy Dreamer, and all them guys, they used to ask me about you. And how you tell them about, the days like we talked about yesterday. I said, you know what? I couldn't. There ain't enough minutes in the world in our lifetime for me to tell you what a great experience it was to go to West Texas State and meet these guys. When we used to play and watch Dick Murdoch get so drunk up in the stadium door, we'd be so drunk up there, and we were getting our butt kicked one day, and he got so mad he started cussing, ran out into the field.
Yeah, Dickie was nuts, but Dickie was so nuts that he claimed, he thought he actually went to school and graduated, He never even graduated from high school.
Oh, I know.
But he told the story so much that he believed it himself.
Cap Rock.
He told the story so much that he'd go ahead and come down there and he'd play on the
Cap Rock.
He'd play in the extra game.
Oh, yeah.
He played in the extra game. He actually did as a former West Texas State Buffalo.
That's right.
Played middle linebacker with that big belly hanging out of his.
I know.
But the funny part about it was he's pretty damn good.
Well,
where did he learn to play football? He didn't even finish high school.
Pete told me he played at Cap Rock.
He started refereeing,
Yeah. He told me he went to Cap Rock.
That's when I locked him in the trunk. When he was in high school.
Everything you did to him, he did to me. Trust me, when I started.
He did.
He paid me back. He did the same thing to me when I used to drive up and down the road. And when he had the ranch, remember he had the ranch outside of Palo Duro, by Palo Duro Canyon?
Oh, yeah.
And he had that big old damn
bull mastiff. And I was sitting out there, and he would make me take that bull mastiff for a run. I go, what? Why do you want me to take that dog for a run? Take that damn dog for a run. I go, oh, okay. I'd take the damn dog for a run. He'd be sitting there drinking Coors Light, laughing his ass off. He'd be laughing his ass off.
Hey, smell this.
I want to smell that.
It's bad, I'm telling you.
Yeah, because you've been on him all day.
My damned old feet are killing me. The older I get, the more my feet are.
Trust me. I was at the damn airport coming down here. And I went through Houston, right? Like a big dummy, I started to walk up the escalator instead of taking the escalator up. So I started walking the stairs and pulled my damn calf muscle. I started cussing. People turned around. Put calf muscle.
Oh, you pulled your calf muscle.
Yeah. People started cussing myself. People turned around looking at me like
that's those 3 vitamins that did that.
What 3 vitamins?
A, G, and E. What caused that? That caused the whole damn thing. A, G, and E.
A, G, and E.
Do you feel old now?
No, not much. How about you?
Well, no, not really.
You shouldn't. You still look great.
You look really bad.
I know.
I'm kidding you, Manny. You look great. I'm kidding you, man.
I just, damn, is it one of the great, like I told these kids that are here, what, I know the fat man tried to think that me and you couldn't carry Florida. The fat man, when he left Florida, Dusty, Bevo, Dusty, fat man, whatever I call him, I used to call him so many damn names.
Oh,
He always,
we had a lot of names for him.
he used to threaten to fire me all the time at WCW. He said, "Oh, yeah, fire me, I don't care." Who else is going to carry your stupid shows?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, he was a character. He was.
a character,
Dusty was a character too.
Oh,
I'll never forget the first time I ever met him. As he was working. This is the true story now. Is my wife's daddy owned a little gas station right across the street from the West Texas Gymnasium on 4th Avenue, or whatever it was. And the first time that I met Dusty was that he got a job working for my father-in-law at that gas station. So I'd come in there to get gas, and I was I don't know, a junior or something like that, and I had an old 65 Ford Galaxy at the time. And I'd come driving in there, and Dusty would be out there with that gas pump, and at that time, you had your service station attendant.
Right, yep.
He was a service station attendant. He'd come out there and he'd put the gas deal in there, and he'd say to me every time when I'd come phone there, "Hey, I sure do like that car of yours. One of these days I want to have one just like that." He said, "They'd have a car just like that." Hell, it's a 65 Ford Galaxy, He's telling me, "Hey, baby, that's a real nice, sweet-looking car there." It was. The car got me around. A lot of miles, yeah. We shot a lot of rabbits.
In the car, we used to shoot a lot of damn.
They don't shoot rabbits on the road anymore. They fly. Rabbits don't fly. Rabbits run.
In West Texas, we used to shoot them groundhogs. They used to come out by the football. We used to go out there and shoot them damn groundhogs every time they'd come up. And one time we got one, we skinned them and put them in the damn cafeteria, and they got pissed off. Coach Young got mad at us. We skinned that damn groundhog. Me and a boy from Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas.
We had this buddy of ours, and he was back here in school there, and I went ahead and he lived in a trailer house, and I went ahead and I got this great big huge snapping turtle. He was about a 40-pound snapping turtle, and I went ahead and he wasn't at home, and I went ahead and I put the snapping turtle in his shower, just a shower in there, and he when he came in there and got in that shower, all of a sudden that snapping turtle. It was very funny, but it wasn't that funny when I told it. That was a funny thing to see.
Snapping turtle.
Yeah, snapping turtles. Snapping turtles. What else did we do there?
Oh God, we did a lot of things at West Texas State. I mean, the greatest thing was, like I said, when Dickie come back from Japan. And we in West Texas, we had that Bill Young. The coach was one of these born again Christian coaches, and we weren't allowed to say damn or shit. Every time we said something like that, we'd get in trouble. And I used to be the bear king. They used to call me the bear crawl king because I used to bear crawl.
To make you bear crawl for it,
doing saying shit, goddamn it, shit. Yeah. So every time Dickie come in town, he'd come and watch us practice. I'd purposely do something to Dickie, and he'd start cussing. "You son of a bitch, you little mother! Come here, you little Mexican motherfucker!" And that coach would go crazy because Dickie'd be out there.
Remember old Bruiser Brody?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, he got kicked off the team.
Yeah, he was telling me when I was at the house. He was telling me.
Old Bruiser Brody. He was
Frank Goodish.
He was a pretty damn good ball player too, but he went ahead and he went to a party at one of these apartments over there by West Texas State and drank a little too much beer, and I don't know where he got it, but he got this hatchet. So he went out front in the front yard there, and there was a big cherry tree out there. And he went ahead and he just went to work on that cherry tree and chopped down the cherry tree, Well, the owner of the apartments, he thought that was terrible and called up and said, "Hey, some of the guys had a party over there and some asshole went ahead and cut down the cherry tree." So Joe Kerbel, our coach, went ahead and called all the players together. He said, all right, says, some of you assholes have been over there, he says, we have a little problem. Says, what it is, says, the guy that owns these apartments over there said that one of you guys chopped a cherry tree down. And I guess that he thought he was George Washington or something, and was never going to tell a lie, and raised up his hand and says, Coach, it was me. He said, okay, son. He says, your ass is out of here.
Oh, no.
And so that was it. That was his junior year, and he went to Iowa before that and several other places. But old Joe fired Bruiser Brody at that time, and then Bruiser Brody left the school, and then about 2 years later I was down there. He hadn't turned pro yet or anything, But nobody knows this. But what Bruiser Brody did, he went to Odessa, Texas, and he became a sports writer.
Yep.
And he was one of the sports writers for the Odessa Times.
Yes, he was.
And he went ahead and wrote sports stories to them.
Right.
And then he later on got into the business. He went on down to San Antonio where Blanchards were, and old Joe got him in the business, and he came back up to us
Yep.
as Frank Goodish.
Thank goodness.
I gave him the first name he had in the business. You know what that was? Frank the what?
Frank the Thumper.
Frank the Hammer Goodish.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Evidently it didn't do him too well because he changed his name to Bruiser Brody.
And he got over with that, didn't he?
Yeah, you got over
Yeah,
with that.
the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember stories you tell me, the guys that when we were sitting in your kitchen that one time, all the people that your dad, I wish I would have been in that era when your dad,
You got to beat up a lot of people.
Your dad did.
It was. The further you go back, the more wrestling and the more authenticity there was to it, because we were just coming down that pike, and it was a strange thing. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about that now, talking about the business and how it works and everything else. If we did it right now, there'd be a bunch of old timers out there ready to kick our ass.
Kick our butt. Yeah.
Open up that door and they'd flog us.
And then like I told you,
Repeatedly.
Yeah, right.
Not Hindi.
One of the greatest ones was instilled in me was Dickie. Dickie was all business. He kayfabed everything. He was major. If I did anything out of line, Dickie was. But like we were talking about your dad, you were telling me that Dory Senior would take, like, Stan Hansen was Stan Hansen too. He was what, an math teacher in Odessa before he came.
He was Stan Hansen. A great story on Stan Hansen. He was a football coach in New Mexico.
Right.
And he didn't teach math. None of us are that smart. He was teaching physical education.
Oh, okay.
He was teaching PE over there in New Mexico.
Right.
And he says to me, and this is a true story. This is how long ago this is now we're talking about. Stan came there and he wanted to get into the wrestling business. So I went ahead and talked to my father, and my father said, well, I'll talk to him about it. So I went to talk to him, and Stan asked my father, he says, how much can you make? And my father says, he says, you can make yourself probably starting out about three a week. And he said, 3? And my father says, no, he said, how much you make starting out? He says, my father said, about 3. And he said, 3? And he says, yeah. He says, about 300. And Stan says, I don't know if I can do that. He says, I'm making $550 a month now. And my father says, no, Stan, a week. Stan says, a goddamn week! Damn, count me in on that. That's the way he talked, because he was deaf. And
Yeah, and blind.
Deaf and blind, yeah. And thought he could work.
Yeah, he was just stiff. That's about it.
Oh, what a stiff
He
son
was
of a
stiff,
gun he
so-
was, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make, this is wonderful. We're doing a PG one. I
All right.
haven't used one bad word, and you haven't either yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah, we're still talking.
Yeah. I was telling these guys when we were talking about Dusty, I knew that most of the guys at West Texas State came to your dad. When they wanted to be
Dusty
in the
was
business.
a sissy.
No, we knew Dusty was. He was a baseball player.
Oh, I used
He
to
was a
beat
baseball
his
player.
ass up on the line every damn day. He'd go ahead. He was such a wuss. Oh, Terry, don't go ahead and hit me so hard. Let's just play it easy, Terry. Let's just play like we're playing every play here. You go ahead and you keep on doing that shit, Terry, says I can't take you whipping my ass every play on the line there. Says they're going to take me off scholarship. I said, you shouldn't have been on in the first
Scholarship in
goddamn.
the first place.
There I went. I almost said a bad word. Shouldn't have been on a scholarship in the first place, you idiot.
Yeah, but he had enough common sense that even though
he didn't have
he had common sense because listen, the guys that trained through your dad and you got into business like Frank and Stan, Bobby Duncan, and you know. Yeah, Dusty didn't go that route. He went over and, like you told me, he showed up in some place and told him he was trained by you guys in Boston somewhere. How he got into business. The guy
He went up to Boston.
Yeah.
He went and got into business. He couldn't get into business there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't smarten the asshole up.
That's it. He wouldn't. That's the only one you guys wouldn't smarten up.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Virgil Reynolds.
Yeah, Virgil.
So he had enough common sense to go. He was what, a minor league baseball player? That's what he was doing.
Yeah, but he's a good baseball
Well, he
player.
was a great baseball player.
Yeah.
He was playing minor leagues up in Boston. He told me he showed up at the damn show, and he told the promoter that he got trained by Dory Funk Sr. And they put him in the main event. He was in the main event that night.
Yeah. Then he came back down there, you know, and he went in and said, "Hey," he says, "I'm in the business." I said, "What?" "I'm in the business. I want to come in the dressing room." I said, "Okay," but then before he went in the dressing room, I went in there. I said, "You stay out here a minute." I went in the dressing room and I told all the guys, "This guy isn't smart here. Can't save him."
Can't save him.
So he sat in the corner in the dressing room. Nobody talked to him.
Nobody said a word to him. That was the greatest thing. I mean, and these guys, the guys.
No, I'm going to tell you something. We make fun of him all the time and everything.
Oh,
One of the most charismatic guys that was ever in the business, wasn't he?
man, it was.
He could do it. He could draw money. He could draw
With that
money.
mouth.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah. And we loved him. He and I both loved him.
we loved hating. You know, he made his money.
I loved him. You hated him.
I love him. I love him and I hate him at the same time because all the crap he pulled on me. I spent almost 20-some years of my life with him. I mean, he booked me everywhere.
20 years.
You know, everywhere he was a booker, he brought me in. Took care
How
of
was
me.
it whenever you went ahead and woke up in the morning, whenever he was on the other side of the bed?
It was horrible.
Him laying there.
It was freaking horrible. I couldn't stand that. But we had that relationship because he used to tell me when you guys sent me
Damn, you really wake up with him every morning? I didn't know that you were that way, or he was.
No, you be quiet. No, no way. I just spent over 20 years of my career with that idiot. The fat man booked me everywhere. You know, it wasn't for the fat man, me and you.
Pat Patterson is better looking than him.
Hell, yeah. Hey, it wasn't for him. He would have booked me against you in Florida. You guys sent me to Florida. I never remember that rib. When I got to Florida and everybody thought I was a hell of a shooter, which, you know, back in the day I was as a kid.
Yeah.
And you guys, Dickie and the guys, and you guys sent me down there. I guess they called ahead and told Jack Briscoe and Jerry that I was a hell of a shooter, and I showed up in Florida. That little Charlie Lay, remember little Charlie Lay?
Yeah.
I walked in to report in, and Charlie Lay goes, "Oh, hey, kid, you got your bag?" I said, "Yes, sir, I got my bag." He says, "We'll go through here and there and put your gear on." I go, "Put my gear on?" Then put my gear on for it. So I went there and put my gear on. He says, "Go through that curtain right there. And there's a ring out there, get in the ring, stretch out a little bit." I go, "What the hell's going on?" Well, them son of a bitches then told him I was a hell of a shooter. And Carl Gotch, Hugh Matsuda, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, and Boris Malenko was sitting there. And they made me get in the ring with these guys.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a prayer. I didn't have a prayer. I mean, I held my own for about 2 seconds.
That's the way things started. That's the way it started in a business.
And then I realized what you guys did to me.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I got my butt stretched for a goddamn 10 minutes.
I'll never forget, you know, as they used to take the guys that come in off the street, stuff like that, you know, and they used to treat them pretty rough down there, you know, but they had this one guy that they were going to have a tag team match down there, you know, and on television it was Roberto Soto and somebody, and anyhow, Roberto Soto had gone down to Puerto Rico and opened up his own territory down in Puerto Rico. Well, then that didn't work, but that was part of the Florida territory. That's how things worked back then. So he came back up here and he went ahead and said to Eddie, you know, said, I'd like to go back to work for you. You know, well, Eddie Graham was a promoter at the time. And,
great promoter.
And he never forgot anything, you know, and he certainly didn't forget him running opposition to him to Puerto Rico. So television came along and he says that, so he booked a match with Roberto Soto and a partner, I can't remember who it was, against me and Sputnik Monroe.
Oh, Lord.
And he says, Sputnik, I want you to take care of Roberto Soto. He said, I don't want him, he said, I want him to be marked. I don't want him running opposition ever again. You know, he didn't say that to Sputnik, but yeah, he did say it to Sputnik, and Sputnik says, well, he says, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to, you know, kick the shit out of him and do it, you know. And Sputnik says, I can't do that unless I tell the guy first. You know, if I tell him first, then it's okay if I do that, you know. He said, I don't want to take advantage of the guy. I want to give the guy a chance. So Eddie said, I don't care how in the hell you do it, but he said, I want him marked and I want him hurt.
Right.
So Sputnik Monroe was out in the ringer, but he said, all right, boss, but he said, I got to tell him first. So Sputnik Monroe went ahead and was out there with Roberto Soto, and I was in the corner there, and Sputnik was going to mark him, you know, so, but he's going to tell him first.
Right.
So he went ahead and slammed him, and Roberto Soto went ahead and kind of turned over and got up to his knees like that, and Sputnik looked at him and he hollered, it's a shoot! He ran across there and kicked him in the head.
That's how he told him, huh?
He told him, yeah. He said it on the run. You know, ran
Tell him
across
on the
there,
run.
Kicked him right in the head. He wasn't barefoot. He had his wrestling boots on.
A lot of these people don't, you know, me and your dad.
How many people have you seen get beat up?
Oh, God. And I had, you know, when I was told to do it a couple of times by Eddie Graham. That's why I respected the man. But outside of Eddie Graham and your dad, I mean, some of the greatest
Minds.
We got to switch something real quick.
Okay.
We forgot where we were. Because
I was just talking about your dad and Eddie Graham, probably the two greatest minds that ever were in this business. I mean,
True.
that's how you tell people, you know.
Hey, hold everything. We got some idiot out there sneezing.
You know, it was when I met him, it was like, I told people before, you know, we did that Cauliflower Alley one time, and Mike Lano was doing this Latin thing, honoring the Latins, and they said one of the greatest Latin wrestlers ever was Manny Fernandez. No, dude, you got it all wrong here. I said, I'm going to tell you something, okay? I may not have known him, but I knew his, you know, I grew up in that era. Dory Funk Sr. was smart enough to keep Latins around him. He kept Ricky Romero, Bo Ramos, Jose Lothario. He kept Gory Guerrero. Guerrero. He was a smart enough man like Eddie Graham in Florida did the same thing. He kept a
Cyclone Negro.
He kept a strong Latin presence
Yeah.
around the Latin people because he knew they would come to the matches. And that was the same thing with Eddie Graham and me when you guys met me in Florida. As I was coming up, you know, and he saw that I could hold my own. Not that I could beat these guys, but I held my own with Jack and Jerry and Boris Murray and them guys. They had enough respect for me to say, hey, this kid's pretty decent. You know?
Yeah.
But he kept a strong presence, and that's why I always tell people, remind people that, dude, there's more Latins. I said, probably because I came out of West Texas State, outside of Tito Santana, who became as good as, probably one of the greatest Latin wrestlers.
Oh, what a good performer.
Oh, wow, he was a great
Wasn't
character.
he amazing?
He was amazing, totally amazing.
Yeah.
And he played tight end. He was a hell of a tight end.
Yeah, he was. He was a great tight end. Just a great guy too.
Yeah.
He was, and did well in the business.
Yes.
He got out of the business and went into teaching
and doing good.
and doing good there. And made all the right moves.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and he's a good example for everybody in this business to look at. I mean, you know, you want to talk about the young guys in the business, and you give them the right advice. You know, it's so hard anymore. You know, to tell them. I mean, you tell them that, but they don't listen to you. You know, and what Tito Santana did is he saved his money, watched his money, did everything right, and went ahead and hopped out of it and never missed a beat.
Never missed a beat.
Never missed a
I
beat.
seen him, and it's like
Got his retirement in as a teacher now.
Yes, sir. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He sure does. That's why I saw him. Me and Tully were at a convention in Wildwood.
But he was never as smart as you or I.
Yeah, right.
He never had the brains to me.
No, nobody had the brain.
We have saved lots of money, haven't we?
Yeah,
We got lots of money.
yeah. But
We are just richer than 80 feet up a cow's ass.
Yeah, right. But I saw him a while back in Wildwood, and Tito had sat down. We were talking about the West Texas days, stuff like that. It's just funny that you realize it, like Ted DiBiase and him and that era, with one of the greatest players that I love to death, John Ayers.
Great guy.
Great guy. Never West Texas guy. Here's a guy that probably would have been a great superstar wrestler too, if he wanted to be. But
Yeah.
he was such a great football player at West Texas State.
I didn't want him in the business
No.
because he could make more money in playing football like he did, you know.
And
And
won what, 2 Super Bowls?
Won 2 Super Bowl rings and
Yeah.
was Joe Montana's main man.
Main man.
He was.
He was John Ayers and Manny Fernandez, guards, you know. Then he went to the NFL. He was a great guard. He protected Joe Montana.
He had a wonderful God's gift, and what it was just the damnedest set of legs you ever seen on a
Yep.
guy.
The guy had a waist like this, no pigeon chest. He had a little pigeon chest,
Yeah.
no pretty arms, but he had a set of legs. John Ayers could have bought, if he wanted to be a wrestler, probably would have been better than all of us, because he had that charisma. He had a good-looking face. He would have been a great baby face, but he was a hell of a football player. Nobody knows about it, West Texas. Everybody talks about the great guys that came out of there, you know, like me and Tito and DiBiase and Tully and you know, you and Dory and everybody. But nobody ever heard of John Ayers. And John Ayers would have been, if anybody...
Oh, he would have been super.
And God rest his soul. I mean, when he got that cancer and stuff, and me and him used to train. What made me make the team with Kansas City is me and him used to work out all the time in the summer. We'd go out there and train on them, hitting the big sleds and stuff. But nobody knows about him. But you know, it's to me and you, it's a great guy in our heart. He'll always be. You know, John Ayers.
You know, he had big legs, but they used to call me Tree Trunks.
They used to call you Tree Trunks, huh?
Yeah. I wore a tree pair of trunks.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So, we were talking about times. Remember we used to go to the Caravan Club? Remember the old Caravan
Yeah,
Club?
I remember the Caravan.
Where we used to have fun in there. Be you,
Caravan was a good place to go to.
be you, Vicky, Dicky.
We used to what was we doing back then?
I don't know, but we got the couples in there.
Yeah, we were past the twist, but we were somewhere before all that stuff, the boogaloo.
The boogaloo. We used to go down.
We lived past we started past the twist, but
Right.
I think it was the old boogaloo that we were doing then. Dance the boogaloo.
Boogaloo at the Caravan Club.
That's right, we boogaloo at the Caravan.
like what you say in your book. I remember when I started in business, I used to get in fights all the time. You know that.
Yeah.
I get in trouble getting in fights all the time. That damn Mulligan used to get so mad at me, threatened to beat my butt one time. That's when I beat that boy up and ran.
Mulligan, was that a big boy?
Whoa, God.
Oh,
Remember, do you remember the alumni game when Mulligan and Dickie and me played in that alumni game? And Mulligan come on and put them pads on? I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was huge.
And you know what? And what's so strange about that, Mulligan was about 310 pounds.
Right.
Oh my God, that was the biggest guy I ever saw in my life. And now, you know, you look at the pros and everything, and, you know, they're 350.
Yep, 350, 360.
350. In fact, I went up there to Pennsylvania,
Right.
and they had and they asked me to come up there, and I went up there, and that was about a year ago. And I went up there, and they asked me to speak at the athletic banquet, and I thought it was a real neat deal. You know?
Yeah.
And I went up there and spoke at their athletic banquet, and Before they introduced me, though, they introduced the team, and they said, here's our quarterback. It was All-State. And we wanted him to come up here and say a few words. And he broke all of the running records. And he broke all of the passing records. And he did. And he was going, like I said, he was going to Penn State. And, anyhow, he broke all of those records, and he got up there and he said, I want to thank my interior line. And that's his, his center, his two guards, and his two tackles.
Right.
So he said, would you guys please stand up? And they stood up. Now I'm talking about high school right now, and there they were. They stood up, and you know what they averaged weight? 315 pounds.
I gotta be kidding me.
They were over 300 pounds, all five of them.
How tall? 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, well, yeah, 6, and some of them little shorter. It wasn't. They didn't have quite that height, but they were huge, massive. But in high school,
I was like, we didn't have that many big guys at West Texas State. We were a tough little team.
Well, there wasn't big guys
No,
like that
no,
then.
no.
McDonald's wasn't around then.
No. McDonald's.
McDonald's and a few other things.
What did we have? What did we have?
We didn't have the old. We didn't have the old noodles. Did we?
No. What did we have in Canyon? What was the burger place in Canyon, Texas, where we went to school at? The old burger place, big old burgers were chilled. What was that burger place called? I can't even remember.
It was,
on the strip right there on the main.
I think it was Mr. Burger.
Mr. Burger, yeah.
I'm serious. It was
Yeah,
Mr. Burger.
Mr. Burger, yeah, you're right.
It was,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
Burger.
at least hang out there.
Mr. Burger, man, 35 cents a burger.
Yeah.
What a good deal, You know why they're all bigger and everything, is that before you had to eat at home.
Yeah.
There was
You don't
no
need it
place
home no
to
more.
eat. There was no place to eat but home.
That's it.
So you'd have to run home if you wanted something to eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes they didn't have that much to eat either.
No.
It's not like this day and age.
No, that's true. That's true. We raised up on them beans and potatoes, taters.
Yeah.
And them beans and taters all the time out there on the ranch.
Yeah.
One of the main things is when you came to Florida. No, well, after I got there and worked my way up, because these guys don't nowadays. The sad thing is we were talking yesterday. I paid my dues by working my way from first match to second match to third match, broadways, finally everything that I learned through you guys. But one of the greatest things was and my biggest fear is when you came into the territory. When you came in and Dusty said, you were Florida heavyweight champion, and Dusty said, we're going to build you up to work Terry. And I don't know if you've ever known this, but I used to get so scared of sauce. I got to work Terry. Oh my God, I used to tell Steve Kern, remember Steve Kern, Jimmy Garber, and Mike Graham, we were all kids then.
I think that's the way it always is, though. If I look back at my career and stuff like that, and I think back about, oh my God, like one time in Odessa, Texas, I wrestled Gene Kiniski, And it was like, oh my God, I'm going in the ring with Gene Kiniski. And it's because that I was a little bit earlier than you and started before you, and you watched me when you were a younger guy and not even in the business,
Right.
And it was the same way with me with Dez and and another guy that I loved to go into the ring with, and all of them I loved to go in the ring with, and believe me, Manny and I had tremendous matches.
Oh, no.
But like Johnny Valentine,
Right.
he was somebody I looked up to, and my father, who I'd go in the ring with in tag team matches, I would be shaking like this, And I'll never forget the first match that I ever had was against Sputnik Monroe again.
Was it
Here
really?
comes Sputnik Monroe in Amarillo, Texas. It was in 1965. And I went to the ring, And I went to the ring and Sputnik Monroe was eating me up in the match there. And my dad came running down to the ring, and he said, get off your goddamn ass, Terry. You better get up right now. Well, it wasn't because of Sputnik Monroe or anything like that. It's because of fear of my old man, what he's going to do to me back in
the dressing room.
He's going to probably go ahead and kick my butt. So I jumped right up, boy, and I went coming back, and those fans thought, damn, look at that Terry go. Daddy came out here, and he wanted to make his daddy proud of him. No, I was scared to death of my daddy.
Yeah.
That's why I went ahead and jumped up off my ass and,
Yeah, made a comeback.
made a comeback.
That's, it's funny, because it was the first match I ever had in Lubbock for Nick Roberts. baby dolls that, and I had One Punch Alex Perez. And I was out there, and
One punch. What did that one punch was?
he used to, Alex
He was
used to
crazy.
he was crazy. He used to be a pro boxer before he became a wrestler. And he didn't like it too much because he had to go Broadway with me. And Dickie told me, "You're going Broadway with the kid."
And watch out, he'll one punch you.
And he got me too. He did. And Dickie told me that before I left. But I was also educated. Said, "You respect it. You just listen, shut up, and listen. That's all you got to do, kid." Well, you told me the same thing. Just shut up and listen, kid. And that's what I did. I remember Alex goes,
It's like me. Go ahead.
he goes, just backed me up in the rope. He goes, "Lower your arms, kid." I lowered my arms. He went, bam! He one punched me. He like to kill me. He almost killed me with that one punch.
Oh, he's a
Yeah,
crazy
he got
guy.
me, man. He was crazy. And I'll never forget when he came back. Like you were worried about your dad. I was worried about Dickie Murdoch being so mad because I got sucker punched and didn't do nothing about it. And I come back there, Dickie was so mad. He took that down one punch in the shower and then the little pressure room, and went to his ass. "You ever touch that kid again?" I said, "Oh my God!" I just shut up and just sat there, watched Dickie go off on Alex Perez. He was pissed. He was pretty damn mad. And one punch.
Shoe.
It's for my shoe, isn't it, Jared? So I got a little messy with my dip there. I got the.
Did you dip in the shoe?
Your story was so funny and so interesting. I just forgot what I was doing there. I just turned the whole damn thing over. Got it all over my hand and everything.
Oh God! But that damn run we had in Florida was beautiful, man. That's when I knew that I had that run with you and you groomed me. Then they turned me on to Harley when I finally wrestled Harley for the world title. But that run we had in Florida was unreal. I mean, guys,
it was a great run.
Yeah, but guys today, as I tell these young guys when I train these kids and they love working with me, and I said the reason I am the way I am is because I was groomed that way. You guys don't have that opportunity. They don't anymore. They don't have the chance to get in the ring with you, or I got in the ring with you, and I got in the ring with Thor, and I got in the ring with Harley, and I got in the ring with Joe LeDuc, and I got in the ring with Bugsy McGraw, King Curtis, all these great workers.
Curtis UK, the best.
Curtis, one of the best.
Best talker.
Best talker and great worker.
Great worker, best talker.
Yeah. And these kids, they didn't have that, and they still don't have the opportunity to get in there and get groomed like that and brought up like that, like you did every night. They don't know what a marriage is, to wrestle a guy 7 nights a week like I did you, like I did Don Morocco and Dory Funk Jr. I mean, it's awesome, and they don't have that opportunity. I mean,
No,
that's-
but it's an opportunity, is what you said, and boy, I'm not, I mean, how can I knock anything that is doing the amount of business that they're doing?
Right, it's just marketing.
But I can't knock it, but I mean, it was different whenever we were there,
Yes.
You want to knock the WWE, maybe I'm a little jealous, and I probably am, but boy, they do that box office business,
Right.
and they have their way of doing it, and it is the only way. So it'll never be known if our way was a better way, because you'll never see the two competing against each other.
Right.
So.
Just a lot of things.
And was his a better way or not? Well, it wasn't, because what he did is he took every good wrestler in the country that he could get his hands on and paid them and moved them up there to New York.
Right.
And it closed down all of the opposition in the whole United States. So whenever it closed it down, well, we'll never know if our way was right or his way is right, because our way will never have an opportunity again.
Yeah, but
Maybe, well, it is having an opportunity. I really said that, but it really is, and again, as I said this in many statements, and I probably said it here today, but the UFC and MMA is proof that less is more.
Yes, sir.
They are doing less in the ring, and they are drawing huge money right now. Are they in competition with New York? I don't even believe that it's even two things going at each other. It's two separate things.
Right.
Both. What do you think of it? Of the MMA.
MMA, you know, when it, because me,
Well, tell me
I
what
grew,
you think.
I grew up.
You shot all your life.
Yeah, I shot all. And I believe when it started, and because I trained that kid, Ken Shamrock, I trained him for a while, and me and him used to shoot a lot when we were in Japan. When we were in Japan together, and when it first started, it was a fresh product and it was real. I looked at it as real. And then now that it comes along, now they're taking a lot of the WWE stuff for the promos and the hype and all that kind of stuff. They went away from a pure product to becoming an entertainment product. Yeah, it's like WWE. They draw lots of people because of that, and they're copying what we did. You know, they're copying what we did. We promoted ourselves
in doses.
Yes. That's
And
right.
they've been pretty smart about it. They've done small doses.
That's right.
But they got to watch themselves, or else they'll taint their profession.
That's right. That's what I feel they're going to right now, because they're going.
They're going to it. Yeah,
They're
they
going to
haven't
that.
tainted it yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they're going to.
they're going to
keep
taint it
yeah.
if they keep on going that way.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I feel about that. I mean, it's like we're talking about. You know, the opportunities. You know, to wrestle guys like when I did in my coming up as a green kid, that having the opportunity to get groomed by guys like you and Joe LeDuc and courtesy of King Curtis and all that. These kids don't have that anymore. And that's the sad thing about that is you guys were like great. Stop that.
Oh, I'm grooming you.
You already groomed me. You groomed me to be one of the best workers. You know, like when they brought in Ray Stevens to teach me tag team wrestling. I thought that when you were in Florida, when Ray came in,
Yeah.
Dusty put in Ray
Oh,
Stevens.
what a tag team guy.
Oh my God!
What a guy in the ring he was. God bless him.
Oh man,
He's gone.
what a tough son of a bitch! You guys used to what, bulldog, or what did Ray do? You bulldog or did you heel?
No.
Dickie was healer.
Ray was a bulldogger, and
Right.
I was
You were a healer, right?
I was a bulldogger too.
Right.
We both bulldogged steers, you know, and I really enjoyed it, you know. As I had myself, which at that time it was a lot of money. I had myself a $3,800 pickup truck, you know,
Yeah.
$1,000 trailer,
Yeah.
you know. And I'd go down the road and have myself I had myself a horse, a
Yeah.
dog and horse, and he was another $2,500, and I pulled down the road, pull in those rodeos, you know, and had the time of my life. Never won one, but never placed, but I'd bulldog all the time,
Yeah,
all
that's
over
true.
that damn area.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good deal.
It was, yeah. Those were the times. These guys, these kids nowadays, you know, I sit there and I laugh because, you know, with Ray, like we're talking about Ray Stevens now, what a tough, that was one tough son of a bitch.
Oh,
Ray Stevens was, oh my God.
Crazy boy.
That guy would protect, everybody could fight.
Yeah.
I remember him.
You know, he and Harley have, you know, I think they're the two youngest guys I ever knew that got into the professional wrestling business.
Didn't he start when he was, what, 16?
Ray started 14, so did
14?
Harley.
So did Harley?
Yeah, so did Harley. Harley started, you know, I mean, Harley came up through the road of hard knocks too. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but Harley got into business by driving Happy Humphrey around, who was this big, fat guy that couldn't get behind the steering wheel because he was too big, so he needed a driver. Well, Harley was a young kid at that time and drive him around.
Oh,
And that's how Harley got into business.
I didn't know that.
You know, and Ray, you know, as he started, like, you know, he married this gal and she was a wrestler.
Right.
And she got him into business like whenever he was 14.
Hey.
You know, 14, they would have thrown her in jail for doing nasty things with Ray anymore. You know, I mean, Ray was 14. You know, you know, they would have put her in the clink for a lifetime.
Yeah, that's true. No, but what a tremendous worker, man. When I had the opportunity to tag team.
And you know what? It didn't really make Ray a pervert, did it?
No. Why would it make him a pervert?
I don't know, it didn't.
Ray was a lot of things, but I don't think Ray was a pervert.
No, he never was a pervert, but I mean, he had those experiences when he was quite young.
Yeah. See, that's the sad thing about these people. You know, like, thank God Harley's still with us. But they didn't know the tough guys like Ray Stevens, you know, and Ray Stevens was, you know, Dickie Murdoch. These young kids today would know how to pay their dues the way Dickie made me pay their dues. They couldn't hang. They couldn't last.
Who was the biggest sissy you ever met in business?
Dusty. Come on now, that's simple. That's simple. Sal, come on.
I was being serious with you.
I'm being serious. I'll never forget the time we got into it with a bunch of Jacksonville Jaguars up in Jacksonville. We were in partying with Ric Flair and J.J. Dillon, Dusty, Magnum, all there. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, some players were in there, and somebody said something about wrestling. One of the players from Jacksonville Jaguars got all stupid in the bar, and he went up to them and backed him down. I jumped up and said, "What do you think you are, you piece of shit, just because you played football? You ain't shit." And football players back down. Of course, I had Rick Rude next to me, which wasn't bad either. Rick Rude was a tough son of a bitch in his own right. So I got up there.
Yeah, old Rude was tough.
Oh yeah, he's a tough son of a bitch. But
Well, it reminds me of, if what was the, gosh, you know this guy. Now you're going to have to come up with a name now. He wrestled for Iowa.
for who?
Iowa.
Oh, Dan Gable.
No.
Bill
Dick-
Peterson?
No, Dick used to call him War Dog. I loved him. He was.
Oh, Chris
what's his
Taylor.
name?
Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor, 400 pounder.
He saved my life.
Did he really?
Yeah.
How did he do that?
This is a true story now. This is God's honest truth.
Chris Taylor is
And
hell of a
Chris
wrestler.
Taylor, oh, it was fantastic. Old Chris was. We were wrestling at the Keel up there, and we finished wrestling. So we
Keel
went into this.
Auditorium.
Yeah. So we went into the bar, for Sam Mushnick, but he's wrestling up there. So me and Chris Taylor were in the bar, and we was drinking a few beers, and we came back out. And this guy was out there, and he was just beating the hell out of his wife. This is the truth, right on the street. And I said, "Hey, pal, that's enough of that." I broke the thing up. I said, "That's going to be the end of that. No more of that." He said, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you something. Don't you touch her again, or else I'm going to show you who I am." Well, he went over there and he opened up his car, and Chris had come out, too,
Right.
And so Chris was 400 pounds.
Yep.
So he goes ahead and opens up the front door of his car, reaches underneath the seat, and turns a gun and pulls it on me. Points a gun at me right like that, So what I did is I jumped right behind Chris Taylor, and I got right behind him. The guy couldn't see me then, Well, Chris, he was like, "Damn, fuck, what do you think you're doing back there, Get away from me, The guy went ahead and he got in his car and drove off, and he got clean shot at me.
So that's how he saved your life. That's about as bad as when he wrestled in the Olympics and that damn Russian guy behind him. That little Russian guy behind him and suplexed him. Remember that? They had that light magazine, that little Russian suplex in the corner.
If he'd landed on that Russian, that would have been it.
Yeah, I know. But he didn't land on him. He fucking Russian beat him. And that Russian kicked his ass. So I can't believe it. That's like Dick Murdoch when he was up and got into it with that heavyweight contender in was it Geigel's bar? Geigel's or Paddle.
Oh yeah.
And that big heavyweight contender one that said something to Dickie, and Dickie cold cocked him, and Dickie said he hit his chin on the sink. When Dickie hit him, that he broke his jaw. They were going to try to kill the mafia. Was going to try to kill Dickie for that.
I can't believe that Dickie isn't here right now.
Oh.
He's younger than me.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a sad deal, So many guys, in this business are gone now. I'm serious.
Yeah, that's the truth.
As I used to think, my dad, he passed away, and it was a tough deal whenever he passed away, and passed away wrestling.
Yep, sure did.
I was out at the house, and he was shooting with Les Thornton on the floor. Choked him out and said, "That wasn't bad for an old man, was it?" Sat down on a bench we had out there at the house, and I said, "No," I said, "It wasn't. It's right in the kitchen,
Right.
And so, and what it was, it's just the way things would get going at those deals whenever all the boys were there,
Right.
Is, he was saying nobody could choke me out. Well, Senior choked him out, and but that doesn't matter. My father went ahead and sat down and he said, "Wasn't bad for an old man, was it?" 54 at the time. I said, "Pretty good, Dad." My dad went ahead and he left the room and walked out front, and my wife was out there on the front porch, you know, and my dad said to her, he says, Vicky, says, I think I'm having a heart attack, go in there and get Terry. So she came in there and got me, and we just rushed him to town as fast as we could, you know, and we stopped by a little, you know, this is the truth, go to a major hospital if something like that happens. And we got to Canyon and stopped at a country doctor. He put an old-time EKG on him, you know, and took about 20 minutes. You know, we could have had him at the Amarillo Hospital.
By then, yeah.
You know, and he said, Dory, you're going to have to roll with it. You've had a massive heart attack. And he went in and died along the way, you know. But he was 54 whenever he died. And the thing that's so hard for me to believe is that you know, that here I am sitting here talking to you.
Right.
And here I am, that was my father, and I thought that he lived a pretty good life and had good longevity and everything. And here I am at 60, you know, 65 right now, you know, and I can't hardly believe that I am, you know, what was he? He was 48 whenever he passed away, no, 54. So 65, I've already lived nine more years than he did, you know. But there's so many of them that are gone now that I was, you know, that I love.
Yeah,
Love so dearly, you
you
know.
grew up with Frankie Hill Murdoch, Iron Mike DiBiase,
Yeah.
all them guys from Amarillo. I mean, you grew up with those guys. I'm pretty sure growing up, it's like when I left to come to San Antonio and I heard Eddie Graham committed suicide. I told myself, I said, wow, it's another big loss for the business. You know, we lost Story Funk Sr., which was a great mind. And when Eddie did what he did, that was another big loss for I think that's when the business started really...
Well, those two guys were so powerful in the business at that time, you know, and they were...
Your dad and Eddie...
It wouldn't be the same. I think if both of them would have lived, it would have never been the same.
No. I think this business would still be territories.
I don't think it would be territories. I think they might be running. Those two, I think it might have evolved a different way. I think that there would be more than one.
Yeah. Oh,
I think that there would be 2 or 3 and that's it.
That's it, but they'd be running it.
They wouldn't be.
Those two guys were so powerful in my life. And when Eddie...
In the business at that time. In the business at that time.
And you know, Eddie Graham doing what he did, I told myself in San Antonio, I said, oh my God, that's a great loss for his business. I mean, it's like, you know, I was telling these kids last night, I love this business. I told you the same thing. If I were to die in the ring, not at this age, no. But if I was 100 years old and died in the ring, I'd be a happy son of a bitch. Because that's what I love about this business. That's what it's done for me.
You don't want to die in the ring.
If I'm 100 years old and the dude flying burrito one more time die, I'd be happy. I'd be the happiest son of a bitch.
No. I want to go ahead. I want to have myself a couple of 6-packs of beer. Be sitting out on my back porch, raising my leg, letting a few farts, and go ahead and go that way. 105. That's the way I want to die. It's like some fool said to me the other day. You know, he said, "I want to go ahead," and he says, "I want to." Well, no, it was not. Yeah, he is some kind of crazy guy. It's a guy over there in Egypt. He says, I want to die. I want to die. That's what I do. I want to die for my country. You don't want to die for your country. And what you want to do is you want to fight for your country. You don't want to die for your country. You don't want to die for anything. Don't say you want to die in the ring. You don't want to die. You don't want to die for nothing, man. You don't want to die for nothing.
If I make it to 100,
my wife says that too, you know. She says, I don't ever want to go ahead and go on one of those incubators.
Yeah.
Whatever they are. You know, that's what you hatch them chickens in, too. You know. What do you call, whatever you call them, that incubator, what is it?
I don't know.
Ventilator. She said, I don't ever want to go. I said, I do. Put me on that thing. I want to keep on breathing. I can't take one more, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Manny. Are you nuts or what?
No, it's like when you buried Dickie Murdoch, what did you bury with him? Didn't you put a 6-pack of Coors Light? What did you put?
No. But I'll tell you what, his wife would go ahead and take and his daughter Sammy.
Uh-huh.
you know, his stepdaughter, is they go ahead and they take a beer up there and open it up and leave it on his grave.
Yep.
You know, and they do that all the time, you know.
That's right.
Leave that up there. It's like Peter Maiva, you know, is
Oh, what a great guy he was.
yeah, that's a Rock's grandpa. And,
Yeah.
yeah, is Peter Maiva, you know, is his wife, you know, used to go down to the
Leah.
beach. Yeah, she'd go down there to the beach and she'd take a bottle down there, you know, of good whiskey down there, you know, and put it on the beach down there, you know, and leave it for him. And she'd come back in the morning and it'd be gone. You know, but it was all of those guys, you know, she thought Peter drank it, you know, but it was all of those dadgum guys coming along the beach there, you know, grabbing that bottle and drinking that. That's a true story, you know. But that's the truth about Dickie too, you know, is that she put that beer out there for him and everything, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Coors Light. Coors Light, man.
Yeah, yes, Coors Light.
Yeah, it was Coors Light. I remember that. I was telling
Yeah,
Thomas the story.
I'll tell you a funny story about Dickie, you know. Dickie was nuts, you know, and
Yeah, he was good.
Dickie went ahead, you know, Dickie was a goofy guy, you know. So he says, and everybody was Budrow, and he said, and he got this job with Coors, you know. It was a great job. All he did was push Coors beer all around town and do commercials and,
Yeah.
and go into the bars and say, hey, you want a drink? And he had free beer, all the free beer he wanted, and anybody that he wanted to have free beer had free beer. And he had a great deal, and he was making, at that time, $90,000 a year doing that, which was huge money at
Big
that
money
time,
at that time.
you know. So what does he do? He goes ahead and he has himself his pickup. And he goes ahead and he says, say, Budrow, he goes out to Coors, you know, where he's out there where he works and everything else. And he says, hey, Budrow, he goes out there where they wash the trucks, they pressure wash the trucks. Say, hey, Budrow, pressure wash my truck. The guy says, I can't do that. We're not supposed to pressure wash trucks. Dick says, pressure wash the damn truck. Now, Dick's got this wonderful job there. The guy says, I can't do it. The boss says no, you know. That was Vance Reed, the guy that owns the entire Coors distributorship in that area. Dickie said, I'm telling you, pressure wash my truck. I want it clean. The guy said, okay. So he pressure washes his truck, and what it did is the pressure washer was so strong because it was, you know, this was set for washing semis and blew all the paint off Dick's truck. Well, Dick goes ahead, and you know what Dick does?
He beat the hell out of that guy.
No, he went down there to this body shop there and said, hey, paint my truck. So they painted his truck, then he sent his boss a bill.
He sent him the bill.
He sent Vance Reed the bill, and that was the last Dick worked for Coors.
He got the bill.
It was $90,000 a year job, and won everything. But his truck was painted.
So we were down in Puerto Rico together, me and Dickie. Dickie was the greatest thing. People didn't know what a worker Dickie was. So we'd sit there on the beach. We were drinking beer. Me and that kid who Morris Crash, it was called in Puerto Rico. We would sit there and Dickie tell him, hey kid, get this round, I'll get the next one. So we'd get a round and then he'd tell Crash, hey kid, get this round, I'll get the next one. And the whole time we're getting rounds, he never bought one.
Oh, that was Dickie. Yeah.
That was a Dickie. And you sit there and you're half drunk, you realize, wait a minute, he ain't buying a round.
I'll tell you what he used to do is I'd be sitting where you are there, and Dickie would be over here driving the vehicle down the road like that, and Reba McEntire would come on, you know. Reba
Oh, he loved Reba.
Oh, he loved Reba.
He loved Reba.
And he'd go ahead and he'd go like this, and like, you're me, you know, and I'm Dickie, and Dickie'd go. I go, and Reba McEntire's on the radio singing these wonderful songs and everything. He said, hey, Budrow. Pointed at that radio. And I go. I guess he is expecting me to think that he and
Reba
Reba were making love and having
Yeah, but he loved
They
Reba.
did, but
He
it was like
loved
he and Reba were the closest two in the world. There,
He
you know?
loved Reba. I'll tell you that. He didn't interfere with Reba was playing. He loved That's dumb talk. The first time I took him.
Oh yeah, I used to. Yeah, that's the other thing we used to do to him too. You know, as I used to do to him, he'd go nuts. Was he'd go ahead and he'd have it on a country station, you know, and I'd go ahead and I'd reach up there and I'd go ahead and I'd hold the station and change it to something else. Hey, my God! Hey! Don't mess with that damn radio. I'd turn back to the country station. I'd sit there and listen. I'd go ahead and reach up there again and I'd push it. About 15 minutes later, I'd push it back to some rock and roll. Hey, Bud Roll. And I'll do that.
I used to do the same thing. He'd get
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
He'd put
he
me in
was
the
so
back
bad.
of that old Continental because I'd change the radio station, get mad. But one time, the first time I did a road trip with him in Mulligan, right? We were going up from, we did that Amarillo TV. We're headed up to, you know, that route to Albuquerque. We go to Albuquerque. And we was going down from Albuquerque to El Paso. They thought we got some beer. So I was in the back seat handing the beer, and I handed Dickie a closed beer. And next thing I know, the beer hit me in the head. Bam! I said, what the hell? Don't you dare send up a beer up here without opening it. I never did that again. He did. He hit me right in the head with a full beer can because I didn't open it.
He was nuts.
It was nuts.
A lot of nuts in our business.
Oh, God. Not like Dickie, though.
Oh, there's some nutty ones.
Yeah,
There's some nutty ones.
Yeah.
Tiggy was the sweet nuts.
Yeah.
You know, but there's some nutty nuts too.
Yeah.
A lot of them, you know.
Are you Iron Sheik? He's a nutcase. Oh,
No, he's not.
No, yeah, he is. He's a
No,
nutcase.
you're on TV now.
I love him to death. He's a
I understand
nutcase.
that. You better say you love him to death.
Yeah, he knows that, but he's still a nutcase. Oh, hell. That, what, 6 months ago or
Oh, he's
something?
absolutely
I'm gonna tell you a real stupid nutcase. And I liked the kid growing up. When he came into the business, Hacksaw Jim Duggan started for Joe Blanchard. Again, Joe broke him. I helped, you know, Joe said, hey, I worked with this kid. So, you know, he played at SMU and all that good crap, whatever. About 6 months ago, me, Omar, and Tully were up in White Plains, New Jersey, did one of these conventions like this, right?
Yeah.
And it was me, Matt Bourne, Tito Santana,
Good guy.
Tommy Dreamer
Good
came over,
guy.
sat, a
Good
great
guy.
guy. Tommy Dreamer sat down. The other kid was
Who
the
else?
blonde-headed kid. What was the blonde-headed kids that I like? That was there.
I know like so many blonde hair kids.
Yeah, a young kid. I forget his name.
What was
But
the-
the match was, you know, me and Matt Bourne sitting there messing with each other. 'cause
Oh,
we-
no, what was the blonde-headed kid?
I forget his name. I
Who
wish I could remember.
was it? How tall was he?
About Tully size, young kid.
Blonde-headed.
He got broke in Minneapolis. He was just,
Broken. Blonde-headed, broken.
Yeah, he was going to get signed with TNA. He was going to be a TNA agent, something like that. I forgot his
TNA.
name. I forgot his name, but
No,
let me tell you about Goofy.
What was his name?
I don't know his name. I forgot his name because we're getting dumber. Like you say, we ain't getting older.
No,
we're
I'm
getting dumber.
not doing. No, we're not. And we can remember the guy's name. If you
I
just give
can't
me-
remember his
Give me a few more hints.
Okay. Give me a few more hints. He broke in Minneapolis. What was his guy's
Minneapolis,
name?
okay.
It wasn't X-Pac, was it?
No. I X-Pac man. He ain't with, I don't give a damn what I'm crazy. He's about as dumb as Kevin Nash. That piece of shit, you know. So we're sitting at the show. And Matt Bourne, you know Matt Bourne.
No.
He's a tough son of a bitch too. So we're sitting there, and Matt Bourne trying to fill me full of shit, saying, "Hey, I know how tough you are. I seen you fight." I said, "Shut up, Matt Bourne. I seen you fight too. I know you're a tough son of a bitch." So we're sitting there bullshitting back and forth, and I didn't know he had to wrestle Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So I'm thinking, now this is all stupid. You know, at our age, we get in the ring, we want to have fun. We want to slow down. We don't want to take too many bumps. You know, we'll make you look good. Don't worry, just don't make it take too many bumps. Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan didn't want to do nothing. He didn't want to sell for the guy. He was just being an idiot. He was being an idiot. Matt Bourne finally hooked him. He hooked him. He did a Sputnik. Look out at the shoot.
Oh, did he?
He punted him. He hit him, kicked him across the face. Whatever.
Manny, I know who you were talking about. Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Somebody told me today that Jerry Lynn is, he's got a bad back or something.
Yeah.
Real.
We all
real
got
bad.
bad backs. So I got
Yeah, but I mean, I think that he's pretty rough shape.
Really?
They have to have an operation.
Then getting back, that damn Matt Bourne said, "It's a shooting." He punted that damn hacksaw Jim Duggan so hard he stood him up. He stood him in attention. He stood up in attention. And his wife looked at me. She goes, "Manny, you got to do something." I said, "I got to do nothing." They ain't doing shit. Them boys gonna go at it. Let them go at it. So all this calmed down. I finally went out and grabbed Matt Bourne. I said, "What the hell's wrong with you guys, man? At our age, we don't need to be pulling that shit. Well, you didn't want to tell." So once I went down, jumped all over them, hacksaw Jim Duggan. Said, "Hey, brother, this will work. What the hell? At our age, we don't need to be kicking each other in the face." He goes, "Well, I got issues with him." I said, "We all have issues." And that stupid, sitting down at the same show was a guy named Butterbean. And Butterbean was sitting on the bench, and I'm just yelling at the hacksaw, talking about, "You stupid, we're 50-something years old, we don't need to be doing out here shooting on each other and stuff." And Butterbean gets up and goes, "Yeah, you're right." I said, "Shut up, who'd you ever beat?"
Oh, Butterbean.
Oh, Butterbean, he used to beat up them palookas. He used to send them palookas in there.
Oh, Butterbean.
Yep. Yeah, it was a trip that day. When guys went our age still out there.
Life's a trip.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially,
Life's a good trip.
yeah. There's, dude.
It's been a good trip.
It's been a great trip for me.
You know.
I know it has for you. And I know it has for you. I mean, we got a lot of these things going on. We get to see each other very rare.
How many miles you got on your engine?
Oh God, Terry. How many miles did I put on? That's the greatest thing about the kids today.
On your
They,
engine?
and my engine's done relap 3 or 4 times, but the kids today had to do what we had to do when we started the business. When you guys started doing the road trips,
Yeah.
7 days a week, they couldn't do it. You think they can do that? You think they can last like we did, going down the road every night? Doing road
I
trips
don't know
in
if
the
they
car.
could or not. Never really gave that a whole lot of thought. About the guys if they could do that.
If they could do that anymore, I don't think they could, Derek. I really don't. I don't think they
A lot
could
of
go-
miles.
A lot of miles. The physical. It's the thing. Back in our day, we do put in all those miles, and we get done and get all the beer and go down the road. And people don't realize we used to drink all the time, driving down these long road trips. The boys would be drinking down the road, Dickie, me, chucking beer cans out the window and stuff. And we lived. We survived through all that. Believe it or not.
I'll never forget, me and Dusty were going to Albuquerque one time. We drove over to Albuquerque, and that was the deal. You always bought never drank before man.
No, never.
Nobody ever drank before man.
Never.
It was one of the rules that almost every guy, I can't think of a guy that I've worked with that was drunk in a ring with me or been drinking. They had more respect for the business than that. But afterwards, we get that beer on the way home, And Dusty and I went ahead and we got ourselves a case of beer apiece, And we were going to drink that beer on the way back from Albuquerque. And we had this little midget in the back seat with us. And he was Cowboy Bradley.
Cowboy man.
Yeah, an old Cowboy Bradley, little Cowboy Bradley. He was in the back seat, and so Dusty and I started drinking, and I guess we were drinking a little too fast, but it's 280 miles from Albuquerque to Amarillo. So at about the 200-mile marker, me and Dusty had it, trying to impress each other with how much beer we could drink, and we got a little too inebriated, so all we had was Cowboy Bradley in the back seat there, so Dusty took off his cowboy boot, and we stuffed a couple of beer cans down in the cowboy boot, and put that boot on one of his feet, made like a leg extension there where it could reach a gas pedal, and put the midget behind the car there, wheel, and me and Dusty got in the, I got in the back seat, and Dusty was in the front seat, or whichever, and that midget somehow went ahead and made his way home. You'd be driving that thing like that with that car out there. That's a true story.
And we're coming back. We wrestled in Grand Junction, Colorado.
We wouldn't reach the gas, and thank God he didn't have to put on the brakes. How in the world could he put on the brakes?
Hey, we were going from Grand Junction to Albuquerque one time, and it was me and Dickie and Little Tokyo. Remember Little Tokyo?
Yeah,
A little midget, Little Tokyo.
Yeah, he was a nasty little bastard.
Yeah, he was. He was a nasty little
He was a
bastard.
nasty little
And we're coming down, and Dickie had that damn CB in there, and we're going from Grand Junction to Albuquerque. Dickie got that midget drunk, and he had him on the CB calling all the damn trucker cocksucker. You cocksucker.
And we can't say those words. We have made a PG tape. And so bleep those words that he used there. Would y'all please mind bleeping those things there? Because we had a totally PG thing going there.
I'm just telling Dickie he used to be so crazy. He had that poor midget, and them truckers would get so mad, come back on that CB, say, "Where you at? What are you driving?" And every car that passes by, Dickie described the car. That's how I get. That's what I'm saying. These guys today cannot be like that. They couldn't take that.
Remember the Happy Hooker?
Happy Hooker.
You know, Happy Texas is 18.
Oh, yeah, Happy, yeah.
And you know, there's, you know, and that's where
The
they
town.
had that, you know, they had that, where they had that movie not long ago about the gay people or something like that. It was something about Happy Texas. He's from Happy Texas. Well, this is way back there before that ever happened. Well, I'd go ahead and, you know, there's this deputy sheriff, you know, but he lived in Happy, and he'd go ahead and set up out at Happy all the time. So the CBs were just in at that time, and we'd go driving down those back roads, and we'd get down there by Happy, and I'd go ahead and get on the microphone, you know, and to that deputy, you know, and he was about half nuts too, you know. But we drove him about half nuts, and while we drove him nuts, as I get on the name, his name was Reedy McDonald. And I go ahead and push that CB down there, and I say, "Hello out there, is he a happy hooker out there, the homosexual law? Is there a happy hooker, that homosexual lawman out there anywhere, you know?" And we'd go ahead and take my hand off that deal like that, and he'd go ahead and he'd come back on that microphone. "All right, where in the hell are you? You know, this is a happy, you know," he'd say, "Where in the hell are you? I'll go ahead," he says, "if I can find you guys, I'll stick a 45 up your butt and blow your brains out. Where are you? Where are you?" You know? I did this week after week after week. You know, we go through there, and I say, "Is a happy hooker here? All right, who is it there? I know who you are." You know, and we do that every time. You know? Finally, we came through there one night, you know, and he went ahead and he got behind us, you know, and here he came, you know. And Murdoch was in the car with us. Yeah, so we went ahead and we just took off like a bat out of hell, you know. So we went driving up there and up the back roads up there, and finally he kept on coming, and he called ahead, and he had a roadblock set up. And he went ahead and, you know, we had to stop, you know. And he was like some kind of a fiend, you know, whenever he jumped out of the car, you know, he jumped out of the car, pulled up behind us, so we didn't have room to turn around. And he jumped out of that car and come running up there. He said, "I got you, I got you, I got you." He was like some little kid jumping up and down. He said, "I got you."
Happy. Yeah, I used to love that because every time we drove through Happy going down.
And I asked him, I said, "What are you arresting us for?"
What did he say?
He said, I said, what's the charges? You know, what are you arresting for? You? He said, "General principles, that's what, general principles." I thought that was really hysterical, but evidently it wasn't. Nobody laughed in here, but that might be a good time to go ahead and end this.
Yeah, great time. Time without frown.
Let's give him an old Spanish goodbye. Adios.
Adios, amigos. For later days.